Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm here today doing the Love Pour Down on Me devotional by Danielle Whigham. These are from Creative Retreats. Haven't done one of these in a very long time. This one is the April 2018 kit, and if you remember on when I did my reviews on these, I purchased the whole entire year of 2018. So obviously now we're in 2019, right? So every month I've been pulling them out, doing them one by one as much as I can. And then if you saw in my previous videos, you should know that I'm still actually doing them in my old bullet journal from, what year is this? I don't even remember. Let me see what year it was. This bullet journal. This is one of my first bullet journals, the 2017. So, because this was my first bullet journal, if you recall from my old videos, I'm sorry, I had, it was my first time bullet journaling, and I had only used about half of the book, and then I had this whole entire empty spot here. So I decided to use it for my devotionals, which it has been a blessing, right? So I started with a few kits from Shannon Noel. They're the illustrated face kits. I had like a few of those. I still have 3, I think, that I haven't used completely. I haven't even used this one completely, and I did that one, and they had a few things, so I'm gonna flip through it just to refresh people's memories, or for those who've never been to my channel and just happened to glance at this. But here is what I've done so far. These are from the illustrated face. Then I had the illustrated face, and I found the creative retreats at one point in my life, which it was great. So I want to say this was another illustrated face. I'm like talking all over the place. So you see, these were all from like 2018. These were illustrated face. And then here's where the creative retreat kits begin. And I must have started at one point in July of 2018. Let's see. Another one. And then usually they come with the reflections for every week. It has like a question of a reflection, and you're supposed to reflect on those. So that's what, 1, 2. So I usually do a page per kit, you know. This one was January of 2018, and this one was in January when I did it, the Legacy of Love, with the February 2018 kit, but I did it in February of 2019. So I try to like go through it as much as I could, matching up with the month, obviously not the year, because it was the prior year. This is week 4. Then I had December of 2017, He Hung the Moon, and these were the reflections. And I think this was my last one. And of course, this was like back in like September. And I finished that one. And just recently. And this was my week 4, because of course life happens. And now I obviously had surgery. And I was sitting here and I said, oh, this is a great time maybe to start another devotional. And while I was reading the devotional, because it comes in with a pamphlet, right? And then you have like all these other little kits with it. And It comes with the reflections and something for you to read with the Bible verses. So as I did this and I went in and flipped through my Bible to look for the Bible verses, I don't want to get too much into it because I think it's a devotional and you should really, if you want to do it, obviously purchase it and do it on your own time. But I wanted to share because this one actually touched my heart because it talks about trials, right? And then it's talking about the verses in Matthew, Mark, and Luke when the storm was coming and God was taking a nap on the boat and everybody else was freaking out and he was just sleeping, right? So the whole devotional is about that, right? Because God expects us to trust in him. So why do we fear? Why do we fear to trust him 100%, right? Like just give it all to God. Obviously we all go through that issue where we want to give it all to God, but and then we have that fear, right? I mean, he loves us, so we shouldn't be afraid. In the passages, obviously he controls the wind, he controls the storm, he makes that, you know, he makes it stop. The storm stop in the middle of the storm, it just stops, right? And then he just turns around to the guys and says, why, you know, like, why are you afraid? Why you not trust, right? So like the passage, one of them is Mark 4:40, and that's the one I'm gonna do today. 4:40, and that says, and he said unto them, why are ye so fearful? How is it that ye have no faith? And that right there is touch me, because that right there tells it all, right? Why we're so fearful to the point that you have so little faith that he will take care of things. He will take care of the cancer. He will take care of the bills. He will take care of your financial issues. He will take care of your sickness. He will take care of your family, your children, your household, right? So why are we so fearful? Why do we not have, we have faith, but why don't we have that strong faith that would take away the fear? The previous verse, it says, and he arose and he rebuked the wind, and he said unto the sea, peace be still. And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. So how is it that we have this God who is so powerful that at that moment where there's wind and rain and this huge storm, right, tornado, whatever it was that they were on the boat, that in a hot second it just stopped, right? Because he's God. So why can't we have that faith to take away our fear, that when we give it to God, he would stop it and he would fix whatever our storm is? And everyone goes through all these storms, right? So we have lots of storms of like people being sick and people going through financial issues and people having wayward kids that are out there in the world not believing in God, especially today, that our kids are lost, right? Back then, I wouldn't even say back then, maybe a couple of years ago it wasn't this bad, but like right now, you know, with all the shootings and all that crazy stuff that's going on with our kids, you know, what are we so afraid of that we don't give it to God? Basically, it's the reflection. And I thought, I felt that this is very touching because at one point in my life, I did have plenty of storms pouring down on me, and my first thought was to run away and look the other way, right? Instead, I was brought by force, I would say, to start seeking God and start looking and seeking his word and start, going to church and being with other Bible believers, and that kind of stuff helped in me taking away my fear and trusting God. Whether it was financial, I was going through a divorce, so it was financial issues, going through a divorce, it was my health, really bad health, to the point that I had a I call it a due date, right? Because they told me that I wouldn't live to see my oldest daughter graduate from high school. And right now she is 20. I always get her age messed up. I'm sorry, Lexi, my bad. 23. I'm not bad with age. I'm horrible when it comes to ages. She's 23, I think. Well, she's in her 20s. But I wasn't supposed to see her graduate. And that right there was my fear. And at that point, I did not want to give it to God. I just wanted to look the other way and say, like, screw you for that. And, how you going to make me die and I won't be able to see my babies grow up. And at that time, Lexi was about 14, 15. And my son was about 10. And the little one was about 4. Between 3 and 4 years old. So, but of course, I was going to a church, which made it better. And little by little, they brought me to trust God and not have that fear. So the Peslak family was the actual pastor and the wife of our church, and I'm so grateful for them because they're the ones that brought me back to the light, to trust God, to give it to him no matter what, even if I did die, which I didn't because I'm still here, but to give it to him and not have that fear. Prepare if it did happen, so we prepared everything. We literally paid for my funeral and did the whole arrangements thing and had everything to the T if today was the day. And this was Lexi's 23, so we're talking about more than 5 years ago. And to me, I think, it could be doctor's mistakes because you never know, but I entrust that it was not a doctor's mistake. I trust that it was my God who decided not to take me to heaven yet because it was not my time, and decided to keep me here as long as he wants me to be here. So I take every day with a grain of salt and I give everything to God. I'm not fearful anymore, and I have the faith that God will take care of it. So every time something happens of a storm, I always give it to God. We've been blessed where I haven't gotten sicker. Obviously, I got all this other issue stuff going on, but he's always taking care of the financial issues. I was able to go back to work. Now I work full time for the past 10 years and everything is fine. I got divorced. That wasn't fine, but besides that, I gave everything to God, even my divorce. And the point of this whole entire thing is just to love pour down on me. The love of God will pour down on me. The love of God will give me grace. The love of God will give me mercy. The love of God will forgive me. The love of God will push me through whatever it is that you're going through, whatever I'm going through, as long as you have your faith and as long as you keep reading the Bible and seeking his word and going to church, doing the right thing, going forward, right? So I'm going to stop talking now. But I feel like someone out there has to hear that, and I am gonna speed the rest up. Well, not speed it. I'll put music on, but I'm gonna do my reflection for my week 1 for what I've read. And right now, I don't have any storms, thank God. But I am gonna reflect on my previous storms, and I'm gonna flip the questions that are here because they're talking about, you know, the storms you're facing now and what would you do and what you gotta do and all that stuff. I'm just gonna go and put, instead of what I'm going through now, what I went through in the past and what helped me get through it. So like if I ever go back and needing of something to push me through, I can go back to this and see it. Or, you know, if I die, obviously my kids are gonna get this and they're gonna read back on this and see how God pushed me through my storm, right? So I hope you enjoy this. Thumbs up, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and God bless. Okay, guys, obviously I am not a professional. I was trying to make it look like it was raining and all that kind of good stuff, but you get the drift, right? Because it was a storm. So as long as I got some kind of background, I am usually not, I'm not an artist, okay? I'm just saying. So I do have all of the kits from prior, and I try to pull them all out. So like this one is part of this kit. So I am going to actually take out this one because I want to put here his strength, his strength, his strength. Let's see, his strength, his strength. I want this one because this one has his. Oh, no. I'll open on the side. His strength. His strength. I'm trying to think of what I want to put. His strength. His strength. His strength, no fear. Like, let's see, what else do I have? Fear? Is there fear in here? 4 down. His. Is there fear in here somewhere? No, no fear. His strength. His strength, his strength, 3, his strength, 3, his strength, wait, you know what? How about wash away? Here. Ooh, okay. I got it. I think I got it. And then I have actually the letters from other kits here to see if they match, but I don't think they do, actually. Because I think the colors are purple, yellow. Yeah, they don't match. Purple. We can use purple. Okay. Alright. So, fear. No, wash away. So, these are the stamps that came with it. Let's see. Oh, I doubt you want to see my scarf. Sorry. Wash away. So, these are cute, aren't they? Okay, good. So, I'm gonna put wash. I want to wash a little bigger. Okay, so maybe away. Wash away. Oh no. Okay. I got these. Bad thing about putting these in this here is that they're not in order. So you gotta dig for the ones that you want. That's the only bad thing about this. Wash. So let's see. So they have the little drops right here for rain, but I have this kit that I purchased from somewhere. Don't ask me where, because I don't remember. If you're really interested, I could probably look it up. But I think I'm gonna use the little bubble pebbles and just bubble pebble them all the way down. Let's see how that works. You know what? Now I'm gonna use the little crosses as raindrops. I think that's gonna be better. is obviously not the final because I'm gonna journal here. I'm gonna put my Bible verse here. But I think it came out pretty cool. Obviously, like, the stamp still ends up giving me a little bit of spot. Every time I walked away, it was to go to the back room for the blow dryer because, as I mentioned before, my office is being remodeled with putting a closet in. So I'm downstairs in my dining room table, so I have to go to the bathroom to go and dry it out with the blow dryer. See how it's smudged? It's right here in my hand. Okay, so I am going to write the verse, my little journal for my first question, and we'll continue after that. Okay, guys, so obviously this is the final because I am gonna write my personal devotional on this side, and obviously it's private. So I hope you like it. Thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you for watching. God bless. I hope that my storm trials that I have shared with you will inspire you to seek His Word, go to church, and look for some faithful friends. And that's why I stick to faith, family, and faithful friends. God bless.